just badly explained votes. After those tough votes, no matter what it was, like close the gun show loophole, I'd get on the airplane, fly back to my district, and I'd go places like Ontonagon, where guns are a big issue. And I'd explain to my constituents that next day why I voted on the legislation and my reasons behind it. They didn't always agree with me, but they respected the fact that I came to explain my vote. But I learned from examples, and I said I had a good foundation from which to learn from, like Governor Bill Miller. He stood up for the oil and gas industry when he wanted to drill the pristine Pigeon River Basin. And when Michigan's livestock feed was tainted with PCB in the 1970s, and we had to euthanize our entire dairy herd, put into a specially built landfill near Rose City, that was very controversial, but the governor said we had to do it. And he fought for an urban policy that would revitalize our once proud cities like Detroit and Flint. These were unpopular decisions made by our governor at the time, but those decisions were critical to Michigan's future to protect our health, our natural resources, and our cities. Now, I learned from the example of another great Michigander, U.S. Senator Phil Hart. In 1965, he was one of the first voices to stand up for the Civil Rights Act of 1965. He spoke out against the small percentages of Americans who controlled so much of this country's wealth. That was in 1970. And he fought for amnesty for those Americans who left the country because they refused to serve in the military during the Vietnam War. The Hart U.S. Senate office building in Washington, D.C. is named after Phil Hart. If you think about it, of all the great representatives and senators that have been before us and in our country, Phil Hart was the only member of Congress who was not a Speaker of the House or not the Senate Majority Leader who actually has a building named after him in Washington, D.C. Senator Hart earned the respect and admiration of his colleagues while never seeking a political leadership position for himself. Let me give you one more quote by one of my other political heroes, Bobby Kennedy. And it says this: "Each time a man stands up for an idea, or acts to improve the lots of others, or strikes out against an injustice, he sends a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples will build a current that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance and injustice." During my political career, I caused a few ripples, maybe even a hurricane with my healthcare vote, but I'd do it all over again. I have no regrets, and I'm proud of the votes in my service. In my steadfast belief that we must not use taxpayer funds to pay for abortions in the healthcare legislation, it truly was healthcare hell for me, as stated in a Newsweek article. I never felt so alone, and I questioned whether I was doing the right thing. But fortunately, I had a strong foundation from which to draw on my lifelong goal of providing all Americans with health care when it clashed with my belief on the sanctity of life. So my father, Bobby Kennedy, Bill Hart, and Governor Milliken all played a role in providing that strong foundation. I often wonder, who are today's leaders? Who are the leaders who inspire public service? What about tomorrow's leaders? Who will inspire them and help lay the foundation for their leadership? And who do you believe really possesses the integrity, the honesty, the faith, and the courage for a true statesman? Unfortunately, as I said earlier, I believe the large influx of unregulated money within our political system is jeopardizing and compromising leadership at all levels of government. Money seems to be trumping our ideals and beliefs. Legislators seem more intent on finding new ways to raise money as to finding solutions to our problems. Politicians freely admit they're searching for different ways to raise money. I don't believe that it was just a coincidence that in 2009, when President Obama was speaking to the nation on health care in the U.S. House of Representatives, when Joe Wilson shouted out, "You lie," to the president during that speech. Or when I was speaking on the health care debate, Randy Neugebauer shouted out, "Baby killer" to me. Within hours of the incident, both of these congressmen before they ever even considered apologizing, had their full internet fundraising apparatus working to raise money based upon the incident and disrespect they brought to the House of Representatives. And I still shake my head on how the financial services bill was so watered down by Wall Street contributions. The corporations, the banks, and the organizations that caused the meltdown of our financial markets were not shy about spreading around their wealth to influence the legislation that was to curtail their control over America's wealth. Nor were members of Congress shy about accepting these contributions from Wall Street during these critical votes. Prior to the last election, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that unlimited, non-disclosed campaign contributions from corporations, unions, and individuals would be permissible. I believe the court's decision and Citizens United, if not changed, will destroy our democracy. In my first race for Congress, I raised and spent approximately $180,000, while the average spend for a House or Senate seat was approximately $1.1 million. Today, the average cost of a House Senate seat is twice that much. It's approximately $3.4 million per seat. Without campaign reform, we're conceding elected office to those individuals who either are prolific fundraisers or millionaires or billionaires. The daunting challenge of raising large sums of money to conduct campaigns is discouraging many talented individuals from seeking public office. I believe that we're becoming a government by the corporations, for the corporations, and of the corporations. It is my hope that Congress will truly give serious consideration to public financing of elections. Even those individuals who run as non-politicians can't resist the temptation of unlimited financial resources at their hands. Our current governor of Michigan, has set up 4 different campaign accounts, accepting unlimited amounts of money from contributors who are not required to be disclosed. So at a time where our country is facing serious economic crisis, double-digit unemployment, record foreclosures, and huge deficits, it's no wonder why Congress has an approval rating of 12%. But we need individuals to come forward and restore our faith in our leaders. We need public servants with honesty, integrity, faith, and courage. Leaders who care about you and me and will do the right thing and will fight for what they believe in. We need statesmen. Statesmen who can build a bipartisan consensus. Look, I've traveled quite a bit around this nation since I've left Congress and during my time there, and even here today talking with students at the Student Convention here. I meet so many Americans who are volunteering to support their community, their businesses, their families. They inspire me and provide optimism for our future here in America. So here in America, I believe we still have hope. For without hope, we stop dreaming. Without dreams, we have no future. Without a future, we stop becoming optimistic. And without optimism, we cease being Americans. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this political process. And may you all be true statesmen and women as you move into your political endeavor. Thank you very much.